Today I'm going to be answering one of your questions about copyright. Hi, I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. I would never think of reproducing or taking credit for anyone else's work. I do print out images which have features I want in my image. As I improve, I'm getting better at simply viewing them quickly without having to keep them around. My work always ends up as my own, so is it right to view these images as reference while I'm working on mine? So here's the thing. This one, there are so many factors that go into what is or is not copyright. Like a lot. It's a legal thing. Have you read legal contracts? There are so many loopholes and there's a lot. The problem is there are just too many variables to tell you an absolute yes or no. And I want to start with pointing out I am not a lawyer. I can share with you the best of my understanding, but for actual legal advice, you need to contact a lawyer. And there are lawyers specifically for this in dealing with copyright and helping artists to understand them better. Now, just for being safe, let's say you found an image of a bee on Google Images and you're using that as your reference. Are you copying the bee exactly, the shape of the bee, the highlights of the bee, that sort of thing? Or are you just looking at the texture in the bee's fur and getting a general feel for what that looks like? If that bee is at all recognizable as the bee whose photo you found online, then you are putting yourself at serious risk and opening yourself up to possible lawsuit from that photographer. A lot of people forget that photography is an art form all on its own, and we have to respect those artists. Just like we don't want someone copying our painting exactly, we don't want somebody copying our photographs exactly. There is so much that goes into photography. It's more than just going and snapping a photo. The amount of equipment, the cost of photography equipment is insane all on its own. These photographers need to be able to make money too, and if people are just using their photos without reimbursing them unless it's somewhere where they're providing that to you for free, this really hurts photographers. So we definitely want to be aware of that and what their rights are. And a lot of people misunderstand and think that if a photo is on Google that they can just use it. You can't. And I think you understand that, but I still just want to throw this out there. Just because it's on Google or you found it online does not give you permission to use that photograph. Oh, but they didn't have a copyright notice on it. It doesn't matter. You still can't use it. That photo belongs to the person who took it. End of story. You don't have to have a copyright logo. You don't even have to technically register it with Copyright Office in order for the copyright to be held by the original artist or photographer in this case. So if they find out that you used their photo, even if you change it, I mean, look at the Obama Hope poster that went around. That artist changed that photo a lot. He took that photo. He didn't do photorealism. And a lot of us think, well, he did it in pop art. It's not even close to the original photo. The outline was the same, the angle was the same, enough so that that artist got himself into some serious legal trouble. It was recognizable enough in the angle, in the outline, even though the shading, the lighting, nothing was the same. It was pop art. So it's a good lesson for us. And there is this myth that goes around where artists will tell other artists, well, if you change it 20%, 30%, 50%, 70%, there's all percentages that you're safe. No, you're really not. And we actually, for the Colored Pencil podcast, we just spoke with a lawyer who laughed at that. And she's like, I don't know where this came from, where this originated, but it is not true. You can't just change parts of it and still be okay. If any of it looks like the original, then you're opening yourself up to possible legal trouble. The safest thing you can do is make sure you're using royalty-free photos that you have permission to use. There are so many sites out there that normally there's not a good reason to be copying photos that you don't have rights to. Now, there have been exceptions to this. There was a scissor-tail bird that I found online and I wanted to paint it so bad. I didn't have rights, so I contacted the photographer who had posted it on his blog, explained that I was an artist and I would love, I was asking for permission to paint this bird. I wanted to find out if that'd be okay with him, and he was really cool about it, said absolutely, everything was great. So now I have written permission to use that photograph. I'm not gonna lie, I was tempted just to paint it because everything about this photo was beautiful. The angle, everything, the movement. I wanted this photo for my artwork, and I was tempted just to use it and hope he never found out about it. That temptation lasted all of 2 minutes when I realized that's not cool. That's not right. And I don't want to get myself into trouble. But here was a case where the photographer, yes, it was a photo that wasn't available anywhere else for me to purchase, but the photographer did give me rights to use it. There have been other times where I contacted photographers and they were like, no, I'm really not comfortable with that, or yes, you can, but you can't make prints, you can't sell the original, you can do it for your own practice. And it's always up to the photographer what their rules are going to be. So if there's this photo that you have to use, contact the photographer, find out first. And like I said, there are so many sites where you can get photos for free. I will have links to these in the video description, but some of the free ones would be Paint My Photo or pmp-art.com. There's morguefile.com. One of my favorites right now is pixabay.com. Oh, I love that one. There are so many photos. You have to dig through a lot because not all of the photos are great, but there are some amazing ones on there. And the same with the other free ones that I mentioned. You can also go through a paid route where you're probably going to get even higher quality. You can go to jasonmorgan.co.uk. He sells discs with wildlife reference photos. You can go to wildlifereferencephotos.com where you can purchase individual photos to use in your artwork, or a website like Graphic Stock where they've got tons of photos, whether it be from people to still lifes to anything you want. And you can purchase rights to use those photos, but then you're all legal. Everything is safe. You don't have to worry about getting sued, which is something I would definitely be concerned about. I have a frequently asked questions page over on my website. If you cannot find the answer to your question there is a section where you can submit your own question to be featured in one of these videos. I will have a card pop up here this side where you can check that out. Thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings or drawings, my own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday, art Q&A videos every Thursday, and artist vlogs each weekend. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, all of those social media sites are linked below in the video description where you can keep up with news, my newest work, and see real-time clips of whatever it is I'm currently working on. I'll see you guys in a few days.